Hey, welcome to Ladies Night. I'm Aisha.
I'm Tansy.
And I'm Alexis.
And Ty is missing tonight. Congratulations to Tyler. Her son graduated today. So she's an official high school graduate mom. And then we do want to take the time to congratulate Alexis because her sister graduated high school today too. So congratulations to the 2020 graduates.
Yeah.
And tonight we also have Kia Willis, the author of book You Are Here, with us tonight.
Hello.
Hey, Kia. Thank you for joining us.
Welcome
Thank you
to
for
Ladies
inviting me.
Night.
All right, Ladies Night.
All right, so the topic is You Are Here, and we basically are going to get into what the book is about.
Okay.
So you want to go or you want me to
Okay, I guess I'll start. All right, so interesting cover, if you can see it. It looks a little bit like looks a lot like a map, which was the intentions, because I just started thinking about the different places that everybody's in as far as their dating life or their relationship life period, because you may not be dating. So, how it all came about was even before that, but I had been on a lot of horrible dates, but it was always something hilariously funny happening with the dates. So every time I would come back or something would happen, I would tell my friends about it. And I've already been told that I was like a good storyteller. I mean, not tooting my own horn or nothing, but they would always say like, oh, I mean, you're great at telling stories, but stuff was just unbelievable. So it turned into, I kept saying, I should write a book. Then I was like, oh, I'm too lazy to write a book. So, I'm going to do a podcast. And then I was like, that seems like it's going to be too much work. You know, we're going to do a video vlog. We're going to do vlogs. We're going to do this. So with so many different platforms that I knew the story had to be out there. I talked to a friend of a friend who, her name is Shannon, and she's actually an author too. And she kind of just put me on. She went through and walked me through the steps, and you can do this. It's not that hard. Do it like this. But the first thing she told me was, I need you to start writing. So I had already wrote down some of the stories, and then she gave me a deadline. So I went through and I met the deadline. We probably talked in October, and she told me I had to November to write 10 chapters, put the book out by Christmas. That'll be people's Christmas gifts. So she put me on a timeline, and it wasn't hard because the stories were there. So it wasn't like I had a lot to think about. I just started writing, and it turned to not just my stories, because my friends had hilarious dating stories too. So I talked to some people. I'm like, hey, can I put your story in my book? So they told me their story. As much as I can, everything is absolutely true. I changed small details so you wouldn't know who the person was. Other than that, every crazy thing that happened, like I couldn't make the shit up. I couldn't make it up if I tried. It's absolutely true. And it's funny. And as I was typing it, I'm cracking up laughing. I would share their story with them after I had it written. My editor, she's dying laughing the whole time. She's fixing the book up for me, and
My
it ended
favorite
up coming out in January. Yeah, it ended up coming out in January, not December. My editor needed more time, but I dropped it on my birthday. My birthday's the end of January, so I dropped it on my birthday like, hey, here's you want to give me a birthday gift? Purchase my book. And it did well. My issue was probably promoting, but I had people like Aisha, who was managing the IG page and helping me just kind of get everything rolling. But now I keep on getting, when you gonna write the next one? When you gonna write the next one? Like, let me add my story to the book. So that's where I'm at now.
Oh,
that's awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, so my favorite chapters, I just want to throw it out there. My favorite chapter is Aisle 11. Oh my goodness, it's hilarious.
Okay.
And Stepdaddy.
Okay.
But Aisle 11 had me like rolling around in the bed, like, oh my God, that's so funny. And then because I know the author, like I was just reading it, how she would tell the story, and it was just hilarious.
And I think that's, the good part of it is it reads like a conversation.
Mm-hmm.
It's not, you're hearing the story, but it sounds like you're hearing the story that a person's telling you. So I go and I do like the dialogue. So it feels like a play. So you'll have whoever was speaking, they have a name. Typically it's never their real name. And if you go through and read, you'll notice their name changes each time depending on what they're doing in the story. So I'll go to, I used to talk about Aisle 11. I think the guy's name in Aisle 11 changes quite a few times. So,
so we did an episode called Catfish. And that's also a chapter in the book.
Lord.
So I thought that was, I wish I would have thought to bring you onto that episode, but of course.
Talk about catfish.
Yeah.
So just to go back, so like in Aisle 11, it's always me telling the story of how it happened. And I told every story like it's mine. So if anybody in the future decide, oh, I want you to put this story in your book, I tell the story like it's my story. And I make that every story is not my story, but I'm going to tell it like it's mine. That way, because some of them are really my stories, and then some of them are other people's. But unless
can you tell us which ones are yours?
No. Unless you know me, you wouldn't necessarily know if this was my story. Now, some of them, clearly that's not her, but some of them you don't know. But like in Aisle 11, he starts off, his name is College Dude. His name turns to Flash, and it all makes sense as you read it. There's somebody else in there, loud ass worker. Somebody else called this bitch.
Oh God!
Guys, kind of then his name is Flash again. So I think he ends as Flash. But there's one story where the guy's name, after he does something, every time
it changes.
Yeah, his name kept changing throughout the story, and you follow. It's easy to follow, and I think that part catches you off guard because this person's about to speak, but then when you read and you see what his name is, you can't help but to laugh because whatever dumb thing that he's done. So. Yeah, but
I got a question.
Since people are already requesting for their stories to be added to the next book, is your goal to continue like where you left off with your book now, or are you going to do it with like a twist to it, something different?
So the good part about it is because one story is not related to the next, I can go. It just makes it easy
exactly
because the story is like totally different. So, but at the end of it, I bring it all back. Like, look, this is dating life. You got some people. You got people. Married. Unfortunately, there were no married stories in here. I mean, you had some cheating stories in here, but it's just the different things that happen. But it's just, I promise you, it's really like you wouldn't believe it. But I also think it's typical. It's typical stuff that we probably don't even talk about that.
I was about to say, it's probably a lot of women out here who have experienced some of these things. Experienced a lot of stuff. But they just don't mention
like long distance relationships. Like,
yeah.
So I'll say that the long distance relationship story, that's my story. And I'll tell the story and you can read it yourself. I met a guy in Miami. This was another disclaimer in the story. The rule that my friends and I made up was that right after a breakup for 6 months, nothing you do counts against you. So
that's a girl code.
No matter how reckless you get, it don't matter, because
girl code and her friendship.
That's your 6 months to recoup.
Right. Mine probably lasted longer than 6 months, but this dude was in a 6 month period. But I met him in Miami. Come home, and I talked to this guy every single day. So probably met him in like June or July, whenever we went to Miami for the summer. Talked to him every single day. He's from North Carolina. And then randomly he pops up, he's like, calls me like, hey, I'm coming to Maryland. I hadn't spoken to him for a couple days, but probably a couple weeks. So it's kind of like, oh, okay. Well, he comes and he stays with me. He didn't bring any money. His phone had pre-minutes on it. He ran out of minutes. This nigga ate me out of house, and I was so pissed when he left. And it don't even sound typical of me.
Stay with you.
Yes, he stayed with me for the weekend. And the thing is, he lied to me too, because he came with a friend who was coming to see his girlfriend. His Maryland is, his girlfriend happens to live in Bowie. At the time, I lived in Laurel. So I'm like, okay, it's not that far. I'm like, how long are you going to be here? He told me Sunday. He really wasn't supposed to leave until Tuesday. But he told me that but I end up putting his ass out. So I end up but I let him stay for a minute. I mean, I found out he had twins. Like, it was nuts. And
oh my God.
Yeah. So I was a dummy in that situation, but and he ate up on my Oreos, and that was one of the biggest things. Like, how you eat at home? I'm like, this man wanted 6 eggs. 6 eggs. 6
for
eggs.
breakfast?
Yeah. For breakfast.
You had to cook it?
Breakfast. No, I wasn't cooking. I think he was cooking it. He gonna ask me. Yeah, he's like, how many eggs you eat? And I'm like, probably like 2. I'm like, what about? I don't know if he said 4 or 6. Either way, it was something ridiculous for one damn person.
Oh my God.
So he made the book, and that was probably like, no, that wasn't even the dumbest thing I did during that 6 months. That was one of the things where I'm like, kid, that's not even typical of you. You let this man stay in your house with and he ate up all my single woman groceries. So
would you all do that? Like, meet a guy somewhere, and then, I mean, I'm sure you would. If you talking to him and he say, "Hey, I'm coming in town."
Yeah, it sounds good.
Yeah,
y'all talking all the time. And
yeah,
it would definitely sound good. I'll be down for it too. Just to see what's up. But then
so would you be like upset if he eat all your Oreos?
Yes.
If I don't have stamps, yeah, I'm gonna be mad. If I got some food stamps,
if you got some stamps, you gonna whine.
You can eat them. You can eat this. You can eat the cookies.
No, not when you're not bringing nothing to the table.
Dozen of eggs. It's okay. I got some stamps.
No, because when he said 6 eggs, that would have been a problem. Like,
a
whole problem. You know how many kids I got?
How
do you know how many kids I got? 6 eggs. It's only gonna be 6 left.
Yeah.
No.
And with my one,
did he scramble, fry, or boil them?
Honestly, I don't know. Here's the first thing. He was up so damn early in the morning. So I'm a morning person. So he got up like, can I cook breakfast? I'm like, okay. Even though,
did you think he was the one he was cooking breakfast? That's what you do. Especially when it comes to them country boys.
Yeah, I thought he was the one.
He was mad the very first night because he thought he was sleeping in the bed with me. He thought he was. But when I saw the tattoo of them twins on his arm, I'm like, he was like his daughters.
Pause. Who them babies on your arm?
Yeah. I was like,
but y'all was talking every day. He
never mentioned them.
No, and they gonna try to tell me, oh, I did tell you. I wouldn't forget you had kids, sir.
No, that's not something you forget.
Yeah,
that's something you forget.
So he messed up.
That was definitely the red flag when he ain't mentioned them.
Yeah. So imagine me telling this story afterwards when he goes home, and I'm calling, telling my friends, and they're like, yeah, what? I can't make this up.
I would have been dying. Yeah. Oh my God. Just like I am now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So that's
so when it came to the stories and stuff, like, how did your friends come about? Like, okay, well, let me put this story in there. I want to tell this one. Like, I know it was hard to like narrow down the amount of stories to put in the book.
So it was a few after the fact that I was like, dang, I wish I would have put that in in the book. Because like certain TV shows like Issa Rae, like Insecure, things would happen and I'm like, ugh. I had a story that would perfectly make sense with,
So what? Oh, okay.
I didn't do it, but honestly, it just was the ones that popped in my head that I knew were the, that were funny. The ones that when they told me we couldn't stop laughing, it was those. It was one friend in particular. We were going through a breakup around the same time. So when I started recalling some of the stories I had, she was mixed in because she was going through something too. She had a particular story that she told me, and I mean, I hollered. And so even in writing story. You know, I'm laughing the whole time I'm typing it up. You know, we could laugh about it now. We did a lot of crying back then, but it's all the stupid things that happened. And then another friend, her story happened while I was in the process of writing. And then I asked her, like, yeah, I'm gonna put you, when I didn't ask, I'm gonna put you in my, change it up, and I'm gonna put you in the book. And she excited. So she like, I'm in a book, but she what her story is. But you know, so yeah, it was just pretty much those the ones that just immediately popped in my head, where it was like, all right, no, this is hilarious.
That's an unforgettable one. I gotta add.
I have a question. So, of any of your stories, your personal stories, do you think that if any of the guys were to read this, they would know that you're talking about them?
Yes. and part of me feels so bad. And every time I talk about it, one story is horrible. It's absolutely horrible. And I know he know it's his story.
Do you know if he purchased it?
He knows, but and I don't know if he has the book. If he has, he's probably not gonna tell me he has it, but he's been a big supporter. So it's kind of like every time you like a post, every time you comment a giggle, it's like, dude, if you only knew. But it is, I didn't make it up, and I didn't put his name in it. So unless he tells somebody, my friends know, you know, my friends know who he is. But unless he told somebody, they will never know that that's him.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
it's just crazy.
It
just make you sit back and think about all the crazy stuff that you went through, like when it comes to dating and stuff.
Hey, look, I'm gonna be thinking about, like, do I got any old stories that it might could make the book?
I'm sure you do, because it like, okay, I put my first time in there, so that was my story. I put my first time in there because I had no business doing what I was doing. The end. And it happened as a result of it. So if you read the story, it's just one of them things like, you were young, you were stupid. I mean, that's the story, and it's a catch with the story. So you gotta read it to be like, oh yeah, like she's a whole fool. But after the book, my family bought the book. My aunts, and like my brother bought it, but he didn't read it, which I don't know. But both my brothers bought my book. And I have older brothers. All my aunts, you know, just older family members brought it. And a cousin of mine called me, like, ooh, now my grandmother's no longer living. My cousin goes, ooh, wait till I tell grandma you was having sex in high school. So, and it's one of them things, like, I'm exposed to my family now. But I was like, that ain't my story. That was not me. That's not my story.
That's somebody else's story.
Yeah. So my aunt was calling me too, was like, y'all got it was one thing. You got guys doing something. One of the stories in it, people sleeping with people's men and leaving their babies. And that wasn't me, Auntie. That wasn't
my story either.
Yeah. So I mean, it put it out there, but even my family, they were like, Kia, it's hilarious. Like, you need to write another one. And these are people who can potentially judge you. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's life, and everybody's been through something.
So the next one is
right.
So the next one is going to be another collection of stories.
I feel like it should be, because this never changes. The fact that you are here, you're gonna be someplace different. But
so are you accepting submissions?
Absolutely.
I don't have any. I'm just asking.
I say, you already know it's a story I want to use. There's certain people where it's like I know things like, I wish I could have put this in there. Oh, this would have been, kind of a good story. And anybody read it, everybody was like, girl, I got one for you. So it's like, that's cool. Like, let's do it. So
we need to put that on your website as in the submission.
Into your submissions or your story. See, we have some disclaimers behind it. You said what?
What you say? Yes, into that submission. Enter it.
Yeah. So yeah,
I got some story submissions too.
Yeah.
You about to write a book on just that.
Oh Lord. I just gotta let people know, like, look, y'all ain't about to get paid. So it's like, my story in there, you should be giving me no.
We ain't looking for nothing.
No.
But,
So we just wanted
looking
to
to
be
add some
heard.
more comedy to what you already got.
Absolutely. So yeah,
That's dope though. That's like so creative and like not only can you laugh through it, but some women who haven't even experienced half of the stuff that you experience, they can learn from it. They can look for the red flags.
Yeah.
The red flags.
Red flags.
Oh yeah,
red flags.
Oh my God, your book just covers so many of our topics
already.
I mean, but it's life, and I think that's so easy because every story was really just like, I mean, some of it was, I mean, like I said, a lot of them is like, no, this is you lying, you made this up, and like I couldn't make this up if I tried. Like I'm funny, but I'm not this damn funny. Like this is how it happens. So anybody can do it. I'm glad it was me. You know.
Have any
exactly.
Have you heard any weird dating stories from a man?
That would be interesting.
Yes, that should be definitely be the part 2.
That would be interesting.
But I can't tell it from my perspective. You know, I can't tell it from well, not my perspective, but I can't tell it as me. You know what I mean?
Right.
Oh yeah.
I think with the female one, because I'm putting in your thought process and there's a lot of dialogue that's going with it, I guess I can still do it, but I would have to, and it's not like he writes the story and he would have to sit down and tell me the story.
And tell you, so you can write it out.
Exactly.
Yeah, I think you can definitely do it.
Yeah.
Pull it off.
Yeah, I think so.
We could do that.
And it would be interesting because we probably would be surprised of some of the stuff that
they
males go through.
Or they even think, like, because we think we think of their process differently, but they probably think like us too. Like, this had a nerve to think I was going to pay for the first date.
Right.
You know?
I know she did not just take her wig off.
I'm
sure they got some stories. I'm sure
yeah, that would be interesting.
Somewhere.
It's just probably the process of getting them to open up and tell that story. But they can submit it anonymously, like record it or whatever.
Yeah, I'll look into that. I know some guys that might be willing to tell some stories and, pretty funny that we can discuss and talk.
Yeah, you can mix it in like some bonus chapters or whatever. That'd be fun. That would be nice.
That would be, so would you ever do a book? Would you do a book similar to this? Like if you had the opportunity to put your stories in and do the same thing, and is there any particular story that pops in your mind, even if you don't tell a story, but like, no, that for sure would go in my book?
But you know what? I was just telling Tan earlier, I don't have no crazy dating stories, but then as soon as you said a submission, I was like, dang, I do got a story. So I don't see myself writing one, but I would definitely submit my submission, and I would definitely submit my entry, but I don't see myself writing.
Yeah, I got a whole lot.
Yeah.
So just tell us one time. We want a good life.
Okay, so this is more of a sexual story.
Oh, they all are. Majority of them are.
So I was talking to this guy. We were kind of interested in each other. So he came over to my house and, we were chilling. So then we started to, go into the act of like we were going to have. And as soon as he took off his shoes and his clothes and stuff, this strong body odor just came up. And I was just like, oh no, I gotta go. Like,
what did it smell like sour?
It was like must and sweat, like,
and you couldn't smell that before he took his clothes off?
Feet, like
it probably hit the air for real.
It's like close.
And he probably slung that shirt too.
I wasn't that close, like, it wasn't real, we was like close at this point. So I'm like, oh no. So I made him leave, like in the middle of everything. Like, you just got to go. I'm sorry. It was a big turn off. Like, I didn't want to do nothing. I didn't want to do nothing.
So did you talk to him after that?
No.
Did he try?
Now, look,
did he call back?
Now he think he all glowed up and got his little
with his stinky ass.
No, he glowed up.
Must.
I know.
Now he been glowed up, think he got some swag and all that. Probably still stink.
Oh man.
Would he know you was talking about him if you wrote a book?
If he read it, he might. He might.
Alexis, do you have any? No.
I don't have anything that I want to share, but I do have some
possible submissions.
Yeah.
I agree.
Of course, y'all not gonna share. Y'all married now.
I mean, that's not even the thing. That's not.
It's not even about that because that was probably way before any of this happened. But yeah, I just think it's best that I submit up and try to make the book.
You don't need everybody to know it's you.
Right.
I'm more than certain. At least one of them will make it.
Yeah.
At least one of them gonna make it.
I think I only have one good one. Yeah, it is crazy.
It was good.
It's just crazy. Like, I know it would make the book.
Mm-hmm. That's happening.
Yeah.
So being married, does that take away? I mean, clearly, you still have spice within marriage, but does that take away, I guess, the funniness of some?
No, because
have a dating story.
Nah,
because it's still. Yeah, it still be stuff that happen.
Would you put in a married story?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, clearly, you still don't want to be identified as, hey, this
right.
Say I said it's my husband, but
right.
Because that's welcome. I mean, that's a part of where you are. You know what I mean?
Right. Exactly.
It's not just about the dating. Is we're married.
Right. Because I'm not happily ever after. I'm on the red line. Or just the purple line. The purple line.
The cover of the book, it was so dope. Only because it put me in the mind of the
Metro.
DC Metro map. Mm-hmm. Yes. And I was like, oh, that's so dope.
You so lost. You get off if you get off in the Farm Plaza and you go on the wrong side, ain't no telling where you gonna end up at.
Because if you get off at Soulmate and run into the side chick, then
I know.
So it definitely goes hand. I feel like it goes hand in hand with the title. It goes hand in hand with what you discussed the book is about.
Mm-hmm.
Can you tell us? I've read the book, but looking at this for somebody who didn't read the book, like when I first bought the book, the first thing that stuck out to me was ghosted. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Okay, so it's a whole story about it, about me, quote unquote, because might be my story, might not, about getting ghosted. And I feel like, granted, we didn't use the word ghosted when this happened, but when this situation happened, it was devastating at the time. And now, not my story, but now me and the person can look back and we laugh so hard. And it's like, no, you were ghosted. Like, no, yeah. I was ghosted. This story, because this is probably my favorite story. It's called is this one His Loss? I think it's called His Loss. And I'll explain that only because, and me and this friend, this would be our conversation. Every time a woman's in a relationship, or when you are in a relationship, I ain't gonna say anytime a woman's in a relationship, but you're in a relationship and it doesn't go right, and he do something dirty or whatever, y'all break up, your friends always come, girl, it's his loss. It's gonna but you sitting there crying your eyes out like, nah, he got another girlfriend. What you mean it's his loss?
I'm hurt.
Yeah, right.
I'm hurt.
It's my loss. It's my loss.
Right. So that's what we kept talking about.
Happily ever after. Happily ever after.
So I was like, you know, I hate that saying. Don't tell me his loss because he seemed to be doing just fine. I'm the
He done took off and got married, and I'm over
right.
here looking dumb.
He done posted her on social media.
Look, here we go with tag.
Right. They got babies.
And this social media.
Because sis is adamant about that. Her man, don't worry about it, sis. When he get there, he gonna post you, sis.
Go post you.
Yeah, so that's his loss ran into the whole little ghosted because in the midst of that situation, the person was ghosted. And now it's his loss because, you know, she living in her happily ever after, but
at that moment it wasn't his loss.
no, hell no, it wasn't. It was a crying, ice cream eating, watching the BET Awards during that time.
Hey.
Yeah.
And it's funny how when you in those situations in that moment, it feel like it will never get better. It feel like it's not, you never gonna get past it. Your heart will always be broke. Mm-hmm. And then now you can read a book or write a book about it and laugh at it like it's a breeze.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's
still
crazy.
certain songs on one here though. This is during that time. Turn this off.
Yes, let me hear the trap music so I can get over this.
Right, exactly.
All right, so do you want to give your Instagram name and how to get in contact with you?
Yeah. What's my Instagram name? My Instagram name is Kia Willis 01. Well, at Kia Willis 01. Get in contact with me through the Instagram. That's the best way to do it.
And where can we submit our entries? Via email, right?
Okay. Well, I do have an email. What's my email account? Aisha, you my publicist. You don't know?
Hold on 1 second.
Thanks, publicist. She my publicist. It's probably like you are here something at Gmail. Get that together.
Yeah.
But yes, absolutely. Submit your entries. I guess this means I need to start writing, but I said
yeah. So it's KWILLI0128@gmail.com.
No, that's my regular. That's my personal email.
That's what's on your website.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, I know that.
So you can just go to Kia Willis 01 on Instagram, click the link in her bio, and select contact me, and you can submit your entry there.
Right. Yeah, you can do that. I've been saying write another book, but I'm in quarantine. I don't have any content, so
ain't no dates happening.
Ain't nothing going on over here.
All these quarantine dates going on.
I was about to say somebody probably got some quarantine and chill stories.
Yeah.
Right. They probably do.
But I
They
don't.
just snuck somebody in. They just snuck.
That should be the next one. You are here, quarantine edition.
But yeah, true. Yeah.
The quarantine edition.
Yes,
Right.
everyone, please purchase the book. Don't forget to purchase the book. You can find it on Amazon.
I'm going to read it.
Yeah.
I'm definitely interested.
And the link is also in her Instagram bio.
I'm excited to finish the book. And
you said you just started?
Yeah.
And it's a quick read too, because somehow the print ended up being super huge.
It's not that big. You always say that.
It is big. It wasn't done on purpose, you know, but people seem to love it because they like, oh, good, because I can't read. So like, I'm looking at that one. The guy's name was Fresh Meat.
I was just looking at that.
Yeah, his name was Fresh Meat. And I think he ended up being Spoiled Meat at one point too.
Yes.
Oh, I remember that crazy Muslim dude. That's what that story was. About a crazy Muslim dude. Quote unquote Muslim dude, because he wasn't really.
Right.
He wasn't really Muslim. He was a nut. Oh, psycho. So, yeah, guys, I appreciate it so much. Thank you. Yeah, my goal is I want to be the next Issa Rae. I feel like the stories will really come to life like on film. If you can see it and see this stuff acted out, you see somebody taking real pictures of their titties, something like that in there too. You see this in it's
I
like
think it'd be hilarious.
Yeah, I think it would be hilarious too.
Have you ever thought about like gathering up some people. I'll be in it, but like doing a YouTube series.
Yeah, I would do something like that. So.
Okay. I'm gonna apply.
That'll be dope.
I briefly, what you willing to do? You hear the stories in the book.
I just want to
let somebody eat 6 eggs.
I want to do the
your
stepdaddy.
You want to be stepdaddy? You want to do stepdaddy story?
Stepdaddy was funny. That was my favorite chapter.
Right, but you want to act out stepdaddy? You know all the stuff that happens in that story, right?
Yeah, I'll act it out. It's not my story. I'm just acting it out.
No, but are you going to be allowed to act that story out?
I'm gonna reread it and then I'll let
Stepdaddy is vulgar, just for the record. It sounds nice and calm, but stepdaddy's vulgar.
I just remember the very last sentence, and it was like,
no, don't read it. That's the catch-up. Some of them do have little twists to it. So whereas you just hearing a random story, I did try to get a tad bit creative. And stepdaddy is definitely not what you're thinking whatsoever.
No, it's not. But don't tell them that. They gotta figure it out on their own.
They will.
But you need to start working on that YouTube series. So let's get that wrote out.
She the publicist, so thank you. I appreciate it so much.
I'll definitely come and participate.
Yes, on Amazon. Get the ebook too. If you're not a reader, you don't want to wait for it to come in the mail. Get the ebook and then
That's me. Do a review. I prefer ebooks.
Yes, get the ebook. The ebook, I think it's like $3.99 on Amazon.
Okay.
Along those lines, so nice, something you can read on quarantine. If you sit down with it and you get a time, you'll finish it in a day. Yeah, you will. So yeah.
All right. Well, thank you for joining us, and I think that's it for tonight. So take us out, Alexis.
Thank you so much. You are here.